You're watching Phuket News TV. Watch us on KPP Cable TV Channel 1 every day at 7 and 11 p.m. Also log on to the PhuketNews.com, click TV and watch any of our programs where you want and when you want.
Villa Market, now serving the west coast of Phuket. Located on the ground floor Banana Walk in Patong, directly at the beachfront with parking. Visit villamarket.com, the international supermarket.
Hey, it's Sam.
And Kirsty. Okay.
Here from The Breakfast Show, on from 7 till 11 every weekday morning on Phuket's Live 89.5.
Doesn't Scott say that?
Hey guys, it's Sam.
And Kirsty.
We're here from Phuket's Live 89.5, The Breakfast Show.
Hi, I'm Oh no, you start.
Hey, it's Sam.
And Kirsty.
We're here from Phuket's Live 89.5, The Breakfast Show.
Sorry, can I start again because I was just going on the camera.
Start again. Because normally our hair is sort of more like this.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you.
Catch you in the mornings, guys.
Breakfast with Sam and Kirsty, weekdays 7 to 11 a.m. on Phuket's Live 89.5.
You're watching Phuket News TV, and a very important green initiative coming up very soon on the island. And to have a talk about that, we've got Nick Anthony from the Going Green program on Live 89.5. Nick, what's happening next week?
Hi Tim. On the 20th to the 22nd of September, so that's a Friday through the Sunday, there's a 3-day cleanup campaign around all of Phuket. This is part of an initiative started in Australia with the Clean Up Australia campaign, which has broadened into something called Clean Up the World. We've been very fortunate to work with a lady called Kunying Chodjoy Sopanpanich, who is from Bangkok and the founder of Magic Eyes campaign. And we've been working with her to introduce a litter campaign here on Phuket. And so this 3-day event is going to effectively launch that campaign. And we'll be doing all beaches, mostly on the Friday, with 2 beaches on Saturday. Qatar at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
Okay, so Qatar Beach, 11
a.m. on Saturday.
Yep.
That's the 21st.
Yep.
Karon Beach at 4 p.m. on Saturday. That's on the 21st. And nearly all other beaches on the Friday. And you can get those dates and details from the Phuket News website.
There's no doubt that cleaning up the beaches here in Phuket makes an enormous difference to the look and the feel of the island. And whose responsibility it is something we could talk about forever. But the fact that we're getting behind moves like this, they're usually great fun days. If people come along, what can they expect? They'll be given some gloves and a bag?
Well, I'll highlight one event on the Saturday morning, which is going to be at Qatar Beach. Starting at 10 a.m, there's going to be a Clean Up the Beach boot camp with Cricks Luther, which is a lot of fun. So you can go down to the beach, do an exercise program for an hour, and then there's a beach clean from 11 till 12. So that's a nice thing to do. So that's going to be fun.
So every beach on the island covered?
Every beach, starting off at Mai Khao, all the way through to Rawai and around to Cholong.
The dates once again?
20th September to the 22nd.
And you can go to thephuketnews.com and get some more details. Nick, thank you very much for your ongoing commitment and your passion, and we're always happy to get involved, and we'll see you down there on the 20th to the 22nd.
That's it. Keep the beaches clean, and indeed you can do it at home, around your community, or anywhere on the island.
Nick Anthony from the Going Green program on Phuket's Live 89.5. Thanks for joining us.
Great, thank you.
That's Tim Newton here reporting for Phuket News TV.
Are you insured? Well, you should be. You've seen how many accidents happen on the road here. You also know how costly hospital stays can be. Why not have a total peace of mind and get yourself covered whilst living the dream here in Phuket? AA Insurance has all its policies underwritten by international reputable companies, giving you insurance solutions designed especially for expats. For more details, contact 076 612 550 or info@classacmedia.co.th.
Ban Yamu Residences, located on the east coast in the Cape Yamu area. For those who seek tranquility, peaceful, stunning views and convenience, go to banyamu.com.
Hi, Nick Anthony here. Tune into the Going Green Show, talking to the people on the island that are making it a cleaner, greener and more sustainable place.
Nick Anthony on Going Green, Saturdays from 3 on Phuket's Live 89.5.
I'm here with star chef Paul Frangia from Dubai, and tell us about tonight.
Well, Sash, tonight's an evening celebrating Latin passion. Jorge and I worked on this event since 2.5 months. I've been sourcing ingredients from Latin America, Spain. We've got some really delicious ingredients coming from our sponsors, so we'd like to thank them. Obviously, we're celebrating Chilean wine tonight with Ambrose Wines. We've paired that with very special courses tonight. We've got 6 delicious courses, including 3 canapes, which are being enjoyed right now by the guests up at the Dream Bar. So what we're doing tonight is basically celebrating Latin passion, a night of flair, a night of energy, happiness, and that's hopefully going to be shown through the food and obviously the guests enjoying their time.
What makes Latin cuisine so special?
What makes it special? It's very colorful. It's a lot of just good ingredients, good well-grown ingredients that you don't have to do much with really. Just treat them well, cook them nicely, and hopefully with the plating tonight you'll see some really bright things coming up and interesting flavor pairings.
What makes Latinos so passionate?
It's women, it's food, it's probably alcohol and music. If you do this combination, if you put it all together, it cannot be nothing else but passionate.
Cultural aspect of a Latin American world. It's about the passion for life, passion for experience, passion for feelings, and a lot of people from Latin America, the ones I've encountered, are very passionate people about what they do in life. Yeah.
Wow, it's a top secret.
What secret is it?
Because we like to show our feelings. We are very open. We like to dance, to party. That's why. And many other things that I cannot say.
I think Latin passion means not only is the food, but I think it's the whole culture of being Latino. And basically it combines the dancing and just that social, they're very naturally sociable people, but it just comes naturally, to have the Latin passion. And you don't have to be Latino to have that passion. You just come to My Cow Dreams.
The new Emerald Central Condominium, starting from 3.1 million baht. Visit the booth at Central Festival. The new Emerald Central Condominium. Quality living, quality condo.
And good afternoon. Now here on Phuket's Live 89.5, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Live on Live sessions this week featuring the fantastic Dennis V.
Hello, good afternoon everybody. Quite wet outside, but it's alright. I will start now, Jason. This is called Sugar Man. Sugar Man, won't you hurry? 'Cause I'm tired of these scenes. For the coin, won't you bring back all those colors to my dreams? that makes my questions disappear. Sugar man, 'cause I'm weary of these double games I hear. Silver magic ships you carry, jumpers go sweet Mary Jane. Sugar man, sugar man, whoa, whoa. Sugar man, yeah, sugar man, sugar man, whoa. All right. Serious cool, Dennis V. I love that. That is, of course, by Rodriguez, Sixto Rodriguez, who has been made quite famous recently for a film that he's done called Searching for Sugar Man. Or it's a documentary about a documentary,
and basically, I got to see him at Glastonbury Festival in the UK, and I've got to say, it pains me to say this because he's such a great artist. He's getting on a bit now. He's getting wise in his years, but he still likes to be the Sugar Man. And he was a bit rubbish, and it was like he was drunk, and he was kind of just like. Yeah, and he was kind of like he played Sugar Man at half its speed. It was like, man. It was just like, oh my god,
I
wake him up.
I can do that, you know. Maybe a little bit of blues.
I'm sure you can. Yeah.
Sugar man, won't you hurry? 'Cause I'm tired of being seen. Sugar man, follow to the corner, yeah.
What would you do, man?
Won't you bring back all this my dreams? So the magic ships carry to jumpers go sweet Mary Jane. Okay, let's stop there.
Okay, yeah. All right. Very nice, sir. Very nice. Dennis V, you are what I would consider one of the best entertainers and performers on the island. How do you feel about that?
I am very, very grateful if a lot of people will say that, but I like to keep it more into...
Yeah, you're quite humble, aren't you? But the thing is, when you're up there, it's like you can transform a great, a party that's going on, you can turn it from being kind of quite a sober, somber effect to being electric, and I like that. That's something you do.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Jay.
Originally from?
Manila.
Manila?
Yeah, Port Moral country, yes.
and you decided to take the thriller out of Manila and bring it to Phuket?
It's more or less like that. I've been away for quite some time, actually. It's I haven't been doing gigs in Manila. Now the network is down here in Phuket. I enjoy it. A lot of friends here. So I'm enjoying the thing, staying here. Excellent. Except for this kind of weather,
This is what we're going to say as well. The first thing you said to me when you came, and you were just like, I was like, "Hey Dennis, how's it going?" This weather, man. Come on, what is this? Yeah. I think you're not the only one on the island.
Ban Yamu Residences, located on the east coast in the Cape Yamu area. For those who seek tranquility, peaceful, stunning views and convenience, go to banyamu.com.
Phuket News TV is the island's newest source of news and information, and it's all in glorious high definition. Put yourself in the picture and expose your business to thousands of English-speaking viewers on the island. It's easy and probably more affordable than you think. Contact sales@classactmedia.co.th or call 076 612 550. Phuket News TV, putting you in the picture.
Dr. Nara, how big is the problem?
You mean the tourists from Australia or the whole picture?
Okay, let's start with the tourists from Australia. How big is this problem of Australian tourists clogging up your hospital system?
You see, we have around 5,000 to 6,000 foreign patients come to the hospital every year.
Each year?
Yes.
Yeah.
And out of these, 10% of them are the patient who admitted to the wards. So that comes to around 500 to 600 of these patients admit to the wards. Most of them are in surgical department, in orthopedic department, and about 10 to 20% are in internal medicine wards.
So were you talking motorcycle accidents?
Yes.
What are the reasons they're here?
The number one is motorcycle accident because of I think they don't know how to drive properly. Maybe it's the first time experience for the tourists to drive motorcycle in this country.
Well, Doctor, the first time I ever rode a motorcycle when I arrived here last year was when I arrived here last year.
Yes.
So it's not something that Australians do all the time.
Yeah, right. Because driving motorcycle is very common in Thailand.
Of course.
It is a mode of transportation for almost everybody who work in the office.
Yeah.
We don't have a good transportation like in your country.
Well, it's different.
Yes, and the Australians who come from a very developed country, they use public transportation most of the time, bus, train, trams. But when they come here, I think it's the first time experience for them, and it's very easy for them to get access to the motorcycle renting system in.
And that's
Phuket.
part of the problem.
Yes, there's a part of the problem.
Yeah. So they're coming here inexperienced.
Yes.
The ease of getting a motorcycle, but most of these people you're saying are Australians. What is it about the Australian psyche that are getting them into trouble on the motorbikes?
I think it's for them. I think they can move around freely from place to place by using motorcycle, and you spend I think less than 500 baht a day.
Well, I think it's about 150, 200 baht a day to rent a motorbike. Very cheap.
Very cheap for them.
A lot cheaper than a tuk-tuk, for example.
Yes, much cheaper.
Maybe that's
Much
another
cheaper.
part of
Yes,
the ongoing problem is the expense
Yes.
and the complexity of the public transport that is available is forcing people into renting motorbikes because it's just so much easier.
Yes, and I understand these tourists because we don't have a very good transportation in Phuket. Suppose you want to move from one place to one place, like from Patong to town after 6 o'clock. It's very difficult.
Exactly.
You have to get your own motorbike. You want to go from Patong Beach to Karon Beach. If you hire a tuk-tuk, it will cost you, I think, 500 baht.
At least.
Maybe one way.
Yeah. Right, so you've got these patients who are coming to your hospital, and that's not such a problem because you have patients coming here all the time. The problem is a lot of them don't have adequate health insurance.
Right. Yeah, most of them don't get enough health insurance, or they don't get at all. I don't know the insurance in Australia, they cover the accident outside Australian continent or not. Some country like in Europe, the insurance in Europe doesn't cover anything outside Europe. That is a problem. So when they meet with the accident in Phuket, the insurance doesn't cover anything, especially when they got drunk.
Well, this is another part of the problem, isn't it? There are many times they're not wearing a helmet, they've been drinking, and then it's exacerbated by the fact that they don't have any health insurance. What do you as a hospital do with these people then? They arrive here, no insurance.
We don't ask any question at all when they come to the hospital, to the emergency room. We accept them, admit them to the ward, doing the thing we have to do for the patient to save their life first.
Are you required to do that with your hospital's constitution, or as a Thai person, or as a doctor's oath?
It's as a constitution, we have to receive the patient first, take care of them first. Question we ask later. So we come to know at the end of the treatment, when we discharge the patient, that they don't get any insurance at all. Some of them don't have enough money to pay for the bill.
What do you do?
So It depends. If they have friend will come and pay some money, maybe 10 or 20% of the expense. Some of them we have to give them free of charge. So the bill will be costing the hospital a lot. Every year we have to spend about 3 million to 4 million baht a year to support this type of patients.
And these are mostly Australians?
Maybe you can say half of them.
Half of them
Yes,
are
half of them
Australians.
are Australians.
Right, but long term, the word gets around, oh, just go to Phuket, have an accident, go to the hospital, you don't have to pay them. So it becomes a vicious circle.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
What's the answer?
The answer is two ways. The first thing, we ask our government to support us financially about this burden. But so far, we have sent a letter to the Ministry of Public Health. We haven't got any reimbursed money from the Finance Ministry or from the MOPH. The second thing, it is my own initiative that we organize a fund which I call Farang Fund. That is to collect money from the Thai or from the generous person who want to donate some money to put into the bank so that we can collect this money, some amount, to pay for some odd things for the patient in the hospitals.
So a sinking fund that could be managed by the hospital to cope with some of these patients who can't pay for themselves. It seems a bit drastic when the hospital is pushed into having to organise a fund like this. What do you think about the idea of compulsory travel and health insurance for tourists that come here?
That is very good. It should be the law now. Include this tax in the ticket, or it should be compulsory for the tourists before coming to Phuket. They should buy health insurance. It doesn't cost much, so they buy that health insurance before entering Thailand. It will be safe for them, safe for us also.
Of course. The other thing you could do is refuse to treat people that don't carry health insurance. The word would get around very quickly.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. As a medical institution, we have to take care of them first.
Okay.
We have to take care of them first. No matter they get insurance or not insurance.
If you had Australians or other people, tourists, young tourists primarily, who are thinking of coming to Phuket to enjoy themselves for a holiday, what would you like to say to them about their health insurance?
I think before coming to Thailand, they should consult the insurance company in Australia first, that how much they have to spend for the insurance. I think it doesn't cost much. Staying in Thailand for 2 weeks, it may cost them about maybe 20 Australian dollar or 30 Australian dollar. I don't know.
Probably a lot less than a night in Bangla Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have something to tell you about the burden which the hospital has to take on so far about some tourists or some expat, not mentioning any country. When they fall sick, some of them are alone, no cousins, nobody at all to look after them. Some of them die in vain, lonely, and nobody come and claim the corpse.
The corpse, the body?
Yes, the body. We have to inform the embassy about the situation. And I think after 3 weeks, we have to remove the body. We have to cremate the body.
Right.
With our own expense.
Once again, it's another expense.
Once again, another expense.
The holiday,
yes.
the hospital
because
is having to carry.
One single corpse body costs us about 5,000 baht for cremation, for the coffin, and nobody pay for it.
This is another problem where you've got these are long-term expats or people who have come to stay in Thailand, and that they basically just still don't. It's a health insurance problem again. They don't have life or health insurance to maintain them here. Okay, what do you do with that problem?
That is coming to our initiative, Farang Fund.
The Farang Fund.
The Farang Fund can do some part of it, maybe.
So you've still got this ongoing problem with Farangs, overseas tourists and expats. Should it be, would you prefer as a hospital to say to these people, I'm sorry, you can't come here, this is for Thai public patients, you'll have to go down the road to a private hospital?
No, the private hospital is more expensive. I don't think they can afford it.
But that's not your problem, surely.
I know it's not our problem, but as a humanity, you have to do the service. Help them first, money later.
Okay. I'll just remember when I get sick, I'll come here.
Yeah, you come here first, but it's quite crowded.
Yes.
We have about 1,600 patients in a day.
1,600
a day.
Wow. And what proportion of that number of patients would be Farang?
Farang is about, I think, 15 to 20 of them coming to the hospital every day. Yes.
And you're saying that a lot of the problems are orthopedic and broken limbs and scrapes from motorcycles. That is the primary accident that people have?
Yes, right. Road accident, yes.
Okay.
Ban Yamu Residences, located on the east coast in the Cape Yamu area. For those who seek tranquility, peaceful, stunning views and convenience, go to banyamu.com.
Phuket News TV is the island's newest source of news and information, and it's all in glorious high definition. Put yourself in the picture and expose your business to thousands of English-speaking viewers on the island. It's easy and probably more affordable than you think. Contact sales@classactmedia.co.th or call 076 612 550. Phuket News TV, putting you in the picture.
And welcome to another Phuket property on Phuket News TV, and it's a great pleasure this week to come to, well, I suppose the quintessential Phuket property location, and that is Laguna. We all know about Laguna, and there's always plenty to talk about, but there's something very exciting to have a talk about today, and that's a new development. We'll get to that soon, but let's first introduce our guest, Stuart Redding, the head of the property for the Laguna Group. Welcome to Phuket Property.
Thanks, Tim.
You've got a number of titles and some enormous responsibilities. And this is as I said, the main property area here in Phuket, and the one that everybody links with the Phuket brand. But you've got something very exciting to talk about, which is probably the largest residential development in Phuket, and it's being started soon.
Yeah, I mean, today we've officially launched our latest release, which is known as Laguna Park. When complete, it will be the largest residential gated community in Phuket. It'll be set over almost 240 rai, up to 2,000 units when complete.
Yeah.
The initial phase will comprise around about 500 units, so that's what we're launching today. That'll be a mixture of condominiums, 2 to 3 bedroom townhomes, 4 to 5 bedroom villas, situated adjacent to Laguna Phuket, overlooking the golf course, or
Fantastic.
adjacent to the golf course.
And we'll get to have a talk about those soon, but let's just back up a bit and have a talk about the Phuket property market, because as we know, it's always dynamic and there's always plenty happening. The market seems to be quite split at the moment. You've got a lot of these new, quite cheap condos that are selling very well to the Thai market. You've also got the upper end, which is doing very well too, for the rather exclusive market beach properties in that sort of 20, 30, 40 million baht area. Your properties are sort of marketed somewhere in the middle. Who's going to buy your properties?
Well, we actually have a broad range of property offerings. Residential property offerings, Laguna Village was our previous project, up to high-end exclusive banyan tree villas. But where we see an opportunity in the market at the moment, after the GFC, people are looking sort of value for money and something that's affordable. And earlier this year, we launched a hotel, will be a hotel branded managed development called Laguna Shores, and we've seen very good take up of that. And this project, it's it's residential development, but we're trying to keep the prices affordable. There's an emerging Asian middle class that's happened in recent times. So we're seeing strong demand from Asian buyers, in addition to, I guess, continued demand from our traditional European buyers. So I think we're offering a much more broader range, and we're getting a much more diverse mix of people buying. So that's good for us because we're not reliant on any one particular market.
Sure. Some people, and I speak to all our guests about this, some people say, oh, Phuket's getting overdeveloped and it's all happening too fast. What's your feeling about the growth of Phuket in 2013?
Yeah, you hear a lot of commentary about Phuket being overdeveloped, but I guess if you go up in the air and have a look at Phuket from the air, it's probably far from that. Yes, there are sort of pockets where development is quite concentrated, as we know, near Patong and so forth. I guess one of our unique value propositions in Laguna Phuket, situated on Bang Tao Bay, being an integrated resort initially, we're set amongst lush tropical landscaping. We've got the Bang Tao Beach fronting us, and we've got extensive networks of lagoons, along with an 18-hole golf course, which is also under renovation. So we've got quite a unique environment, and so we don't see Laguna Phuket as being overdeveloped, because we still will maintain and retain lots of open spaces. I mean, we're a public company which has large tracts of land bank, and obviously, we've got a duty, I guess, to our shareholders to make a return on their investment.
Oh, of course. The truth is, when you drive along your Kasatri roads or even south down the island, that you've got all the shop houses and all the businesses, but you look behind them and it's just vacant land.
Yeah.
So it is true that if you look from the satellite, people saying that Phuket is overdeveloped, it's just not true. We're probably only occupying 5 or 10% of the actual land.
Yeah, and I think with Laguna Park, 2,000 units when it's complete sounds like a daunting number. But in terms of our design and planning, which we do in-house, by the way, we always take into consideration the surrounding environment when we do that. So even within the project itself, there'll be significant tracts of open space which residents can enjoy, and that's more than double what the regulations require for developers.
Yeah. Let's have a talk about Laguna Park. What are the basics? We've got condos, we've got townhouses, we've got villas.
Yep. So the condos we haven't released yet. We'll release those later this year. But they will be one-bedroom units.
Yes.
So they'll be ideal for, I guess, single people. They'll be overlooking the golf course, and they will be obviously very competitively priced when we release those.
That's a continuation of your Laguna Shores type of development?
No, Laguna Shores is a separate development where Laguna Shores is going to be managed effectively and run by a hotel brand at the end of the day. So Laguna Park is a residential, so that won't have any hotel sort of management program associated with it. I mean, we will offer a letting service for residential lets. So it is residential. So the condos, all one bedroom, ideal for, I guess, for single people, and then we go up to the townhomes, which are 3 up to 4 bedroom, and
they're spectacular.
Yeah.
I love the way in the presentation. They're nice and open, and they're airy, and they've got a nice neutral sort of interior decoration throughout. They're really tasteful.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we designed it, we've got our own in-house design teams that develop the plans. And again, in order to be able to offer an affordable pricing point, because Laguna's often seen as being expensive and exclusive, we've had to maximise the efficiency and the use of space.
Yeah.
And I guess that all started with Laguna Shores, where we had very small spaces, but optimised the use of space, and we've continued that. I guess that trend in respect of Laguna Park.
And tell us about the villas.
So the villas will be 4 to 5 bedroom, set over 3 levels, spacious living areas, so there'll be living areas on all 3 levels.
And we're sitting in one of the living areas now.
We're sitting on the first floor living area, which has the bedrooms off it. So that's a living area in addition to obviously the ground floor, which is the formal sort of living and dining area and so forth. And then we can go up to the top floor where there's a large rooftop terrace. And if buyers want, they can also convert part of that rooftop terrace to another living area or bedroom if they wish.
And that's an option they have also on the townhouses.
Correct.
Yeah, that's exciting. Let's go down to the bottom line. Let's talk about the general prices of the properties at Laguna Park.
Okay, so the townhomes that we've released today, they start at 6.7 million baht. So I think that's very competitively priced.
At Laguna for sure.
Yeah, and the villas start at 12.4. So again, I think once people come down and have a look, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised in terms of the space. And of course, we don't want to compromise on quality as well. So, we've made sure that we maintain sort of high standards of fittings and specifications. So, what you see in the villa, obviously the loose furniture is not included, but
you don't get this.
Yeah, sure. But literally, what you see is what you get. The fit out.
Okay, I'm going to buy a 5-bedroom villa. I'm going to get the option on the top floor. I'm going to get the best location. What's the upper end for the price of the villas?
I would say if you take the options of the converting the top floor, enclosing that living space, and putting a pool on the rooftop as well, you'd be around about the 13 to 14 million baht mark, which I think is still very good value.
That's really good value, and we've had an opportunity today to see the quality, and it's a really nice, fresh, open sort of fit out. It's a great credit to your designers. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I've heard a bit of a rumour there are some also very exciting things coming up in the next couple of months, but we can't talk about them now. But we look forward to perhaps having a talk to you in the following months about some new announcements here at Laguna as well.
Yep. Well, we're very excited, and we look forward to talking to you as well when we're ready to talk about them.
Thank you, Stuart, and congratulations on the announcement of Laguna Park. Best wishes with it, and thank you for joining us on Phuket Property.
My pleasure, Tim. Thank you very much.
Stuart Redding there from Laguna Developments, and a lot happening here at Laguna, and that's Laguna Park, and we're sure to be talking more about the Laguna announcements in coming months. Thank you for joining us on Phuket Property on Phuket News TV.
Whoa, hello, Sawadee Krap, Pinong Cup. Jason Wilder here from Drive on Phuket's Live 89.5. Feel the fun.
Drive on Live with Jason Wilder, weekdays from 3, brought to you by the Belgian Beer Cafe on Phuket's Live 89.5. The new Emerald Central Condominium, starting from 3.1 million baht. Visit the booth at Central Festival. The new Emerald Central Condominium. Quality living, quality condo.
Did you know that the Phuket News, Live 89.5, Novosti Phuketa and Phuket News TV are all part of the same company? Class Act Media, your island, your media partner.
Welcome to This Week in Phuket. Today we are at the Indigo Pole, and here with me today Mr. John Daly, the co-founder and vice president of Side Up Foundation. Hello, John.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you here. Welcome to This Week in Phuket.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your foundation, Side Up.
Well, Soy Dog Foundation was started 9.5 years ago now. We started it with a view because we came here to retire to try and put something back into the community, and had seen the terrible situation with the dogs, and it was a problem rapidly getting out of control. Dogs were everywhere in terrible condition, and we decided, try and do something about it.
So Side Dog mainly doing the job of sterilize and take care of the dog in need of the treatment.
That's the prime purpose, was to control, reduce the population of dogs humanely by mass sterilisation. Obviously, in the early days, it was quite slow. I think in year one, we sterilised maybe 1,000 dogs, but as you know, this week we reached the 50,000 target. That's dogs and cats. So it's expanding, it's growing each year, and the object is to see Phuket without a stray dog problem. You'll always have some stray dogs in Thailand. It's part of the culture scene, but we're in a country where euthanasia is not acceptable, or open euthanasia is not acceptable, and this is the only method that's been proven to work.
Okay, and Side Dog doesn't only work in Phuket, right? You work in other areas of Thailand as well.
Yeah, last year we started in Bangkok. It's a very steady opening in Bangkok, but the object is that once Phuket is under control, and as our investment grows, we will increase operations in Bangkok and elsewhere. We had a meeting just last week and have further ones next week with the Director of Livestock in Bangkok regarding, in fact, introducing a nationwide program based on what has been done here on Phuket.
Is it going to be the mobile programs that you mentioned?
Both. I mean, in Phuket we operate a clinic, full-time clinic in Mai Khao, but we are now running a program which started in June last year, which will run for 2 years initially, with probably a third year revisiting all the sites. We're working very closely with the abattoirs, who have seen that no matter what they've done in the past, taking dogs off the streets just hasn't worked. And so they're cooperating. We're having these mobile clinics targeting owned dogs and stray dogs. Systematically, we started in the north, working down the island. The object is to do 10,000 dogs a year. The total target is 15,000 animals, but 10,000 dogs on Phuket per year. I believe that in 2 years that would see Phuket very much under control.
Mainly it's not to shelter the dog, right? Only shelter the one that it needs.
Yeah, we have a shelter, but the only dogs that are there, that come in there, are dogs that have been victims of cruelty or abuse, or have no longer been able to survive on the streets through one reason or another, and also puppies. We get a lot of very young puppies that are thrown away, often only a few days old. Obviously, once you've brought them back to, or they're reared, you can't put them back where you found them, which might be a main road or whatever. But our object is not to shelter dogs. We don't take dogs off the street just for the sake of it, because it would defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do. You know, if you take dogs off the street that are sterilised, other dogs will always take their place. So it's far better to have sterilised dogs that are territorial. They keep other dogs out while you're doing the other dogs, their neighbours, and in effect what happens is eventually you get a situation, all dogs are sterilised, or most of them, and then the numbers will fall. That's proven.
And you're also doing something with recently with the dog meat trading?
Yeah, it's taking a lot of our time at the moment. We're obviously targeting the dog meat trade. One of the reasons is there's two ways of looking at it. One is the inherent cruelty involved in it from the start to the finish, but also that Thailand, along with every other country in the ASEAN region, has pledged to eradicate rabies by 2020. And in effect, by exporting to Vietnam thousands of dogs that are not vaccinated, are carrying disease, we already have evidence of that in Vietnam, then you have a situation that in fact is spreading the disease, not eradicating it. So that's one of the reasons also why we're targeting that. Unfortunately, of course, the dogs that are intercepted, which runs into thousands, there's no budget for them, so it's costing us now well over $1 million baht a month just in food for these dogs.
Thank you. This is all for the good cause and very good jobs, and everyone put their times and energy into it, especially yours and your team. So thank you very much for joining us on This Week in Phuket.
My pleasure. Thank you.
The Sheraton Krabi Trophy 2013 Adventure Race, scheduled on the 21st of September, is part of the Amazing Thailand Adventure Race series. The race will start and finish on the magnificent Klong Mueang Beach. The race will offer 4 disciplines: running, cycling, kayaking, and swimming. The registration will start at 1 p.m. on the 20th of September at Sheraton Krabi and will start racing on the next day at 8:30 a.m. Registration costs will include 2 nights in Sheraton. An evening with author Jim Newport at the Blue Elephant restaurant in Phuket Town will be held on the 20th of September. With an admission fee of 1,500 baht that will include gourmet Thai food and selected beverages. All guests will receive a signed copy of The Siamese Connection, and all authors' books will be available. A portion of proceeds will go to the Rotary Club of Patong Beach Local Children's Fund. Starwood Hotels and Resort is set to host its charity mini marathon to raise funds for UNICEF and local Phuket charities on Sunday 22nd of September. The mini marathon route is 10.5 kilometers and 3.5 kilometers for charity walk. The race will begin on Ban Bong Rang School, Pak Lok. The price for registration for the mini marathon is 250 baht per person, and the charity walk is priced at 200 baht per person. There will be many prizes and souvenirs to be won. Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap is coming to Bangkok. This year, The Mousetrap celebrates its Diamond Jubilee, 60th year of performances in the West End. The productions are now being staged around the world in over 40 different countries, and now celebrations will be coming to Bangkok too. The play will be starting on the 27th of September through to the 29th of September at the Aksara Theatre King Power, Bangkok. For more information on all these events, visit thephuketnews.com/events and be sure to like us on facebook.com/thephuketnews. Villa Market, now serving the west coast of Phuket. Located on the ground floor Banana Walk in Patong, directly at the beachfront with parking. Visit villamarket.com, the international supermarket.
Are you insured? Well, you should be. You've seen how many accidents happen on the road here. You also know how costly hospital stays can be. Want to have a total peace of mind and get yourself covered whilst living the dream here in Phuket? AA Insurance has all its policies underwritten by international reputable companies, giving you insurance solutions designed especially for expats. For more details, contact 076 612 550 or info@classactmedia.co.th.
You're watching Phuket News TV. Watch us on KPP Cable TV Channel 1 every day at 7 and 11 p.m. Also log on to thephuketnews.com, click TV and watch any of our programs where you want and when you want.
Enjoy the beach because beach really fun and surfing's really good. It's a great sport.
and welcome to the Phuket News TV for Phuket News in Review. This is Simon Ostheimer, once again a managing editor of the Phuket News, which is out now at all good stores for 20 baht. Now, this week we start with They Have Guns. All this debacle in Central.
Yeah, that's a grabbing headline. So it's to do with basically the black taxis, the illegal taxis based outside of Central Festival. And there was a meeting held this week involving the DSI, Central Festival Management, and also representatives of the local taxi organisations, and to see what they can do about this. They basically want to have just legal taxis. Obviously they get a lot of tourists there, so it's a matter of importance to them. During the meeting, where reporters were invited to attend, came out, the manager of Central Festival said they have guns.
Does that put him in a vulnerable position, coming out and speaking to media and the police?
Perhaps in some ways, but you have to imagine he's done it with the full backing of the company that he works for, which is one of the largest in Thailand, and also with the DSI's support. And I think it just shows they're serious about tackling the issue.
Do you think with the bigger presence of DSI on the island that more people are kind of speaking up about issues?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of these things that are now coming out that are perhaps been buried before or not really talked about, and having the presence of the DSI and their support means people are more willing to bring out these major issues. So it's good. Hopefully it's all going to be positive.
Yeah, right. So what's happening with the situation now?
What's negotiations ongoing between, say, the taxi organisations and Central. Their aim is they want to have 100% legal taxis outside. Currently, I think only something like 1 in 4 is actually legal.
Right.
So they want to have them organised and registered. So it's something we'll be following up on, but right now talks are ongoing.
How long has it been going on? Illegal cabs at Central?
I think it's the same as across Phuket as a whole since the tourists started arriving.
Right.
But finally, like we saw at the airport, where they made all of the taxis up there register, it's the same thing now seems to be happening across the island, so it's finally being addressed.
Okay. And on page 3 of the Phuket News this week, a bit of sad news. We've got artist Mama Farka.
Yeah, careful how you say that.
Yes, who passed away this week. This should highlight the dangers of surf in Phuket.
Yeah, surfing and swimming, just the waters in general. But yeah, he's a celebrated graphic artist.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool guy. And yeah, sadly died of a tragic surfing accident. And we hear about these kind of stories all of the time. And often it's an unnamed tourist, gets into trouble with the rips, and people, although it looks beautiful from the beach, they don't realise how dangerous the water can be, and maybe go in there overconfident. Unconfirmed reports say that he actually wasn't a very strong swimmer, but it could happen to anybody.
Yeah, right, and he'll be sadly missed by many.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the road rage incident last week as well, and obviously you've got an article in the paper this week about the guy saying he didn't mean to kill anyone, he just wanted to scare them off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the headline says it all, Face of Fury, and this actually was a contender for the front page of the story. But the case of the Russian man who was shot when he was in the back of the car, and it was a bit of a road rage incident, like you say, between some guys on a bike and then these Russians in the car. Well, they arrested him, they found him, and yeah, he's basically said no intention to kill, just wanted to scare them off, and basically was just angry and had a gun.
Yeah, right. He said the driver of the car flashed his lights and pressed a horn, so he thought they were trying to get him off the motorcycle, sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, it's something we hear about an awful lot in Phuket, that people have very quick tempers, and unfortunately there is access to handguns, which are legal in Thailand. You can own one and have it registered, but that's kind of a lethal combination.
Do you know how many firearms are on Phuket?
I couldn't hazard a guess, but there are lots.
Yeah. Okay, so when we turn to page 7 this week, we've got 2 arrested in jet ski checks. Are they happening more regularly on the island?
Yeah, no, it seems to be the case. This is the Marine Police, basically went down to Patong to check out the local jet ski operators and check things as like they have the proper license to do that the jet ski itself is properly registered, all the paperwork is up to date, and they found many sort of discrepancies when they were there, and 2 were arrested in these checks. So this is by the Marine Police and not by the DSI, but like we were just saying about the fact that the DSI are on the island and they're addressing all these things, it kind of seems to have like a knock-on effect to incidents like this.
Right, okay. And if we go to Life, we've got a really interesting article here with Jody Halton, and he's interviewed Paul Brock. Now, he's a resident in Bali.
Yep. And Phuket.
And Phuket.
Yeah, divides his time between the two.
Okay, and he's a bit of a fashion icon.
Yeah, people may have seen his stores around the island. He has multiple outlets here.
16, I believe, in Thailand.
Yep. Very sort of cool clothes that he puts together, very sort of influenced by India and tribal designs. But yeah, Jody sat down with him for an interview and talk about like his background, where he came from, and interestingly, he made his fortune from rolling papers. And he'd always asked himself, rolling papers, why are they just white? Why has no one put a pattern on it? And the answer, no one had ever thought of it. So he put the stars and stripes, the US flag, on the rolling paper.
Which is illegal.
And illegal to manufacture them. So he had to make them in Italy to get around the law, and that made him millions. And that was his first start.
He said it was quite controversial.
Very controversial, yeah, at the time. Back in the 60s, you can imagine.
Yeah, right.
Spirit of revolution and all of that. And then from there, we kind of talked more with him about where his path took him, including about a decade spent on a beach in Goa.
Yeah, right. It was a really interesting read, and it's amazing how he sold 13 million stars and stripes.
Yes.
Rolling papers as well. Wow. So that is in page 3 of Life in this week's edition of the Phuket News. And we're going to Pancakes of Patong. I believe her name is Rin from Tang.
Yeah, from Trang province. So this is Ramon, one of our reporters, and doing like a regular series of street eats, we call it, where we look at a local delicacy, something that maybe tourists eat or locals eat, and give a bit more of a story behind it and the people that sell it. So in this case, we've looked at the pancake sellers of Patong. So everybody's seen them, probably bought something from them, banana, Nutella, what have you, but probably don't know much about the person that sold it to them. So yeah, we sent out a reporter to have a chat with one of them. It's quite fascinating reading.
Nice, and that's one of those in the dining section every week.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, and page, last but not least, Logging On to the Past, written by Claire Connell. What's she been doing here? This is
Well, she's been on holiday up to Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
And she went on this fascinating sort of historical tour of this house called Borneo House, and also the surrounding area. But basically, it was one of the first sort of colonial-style buildings built in Chiang Mai, and it was founded as the headquarters for a logging empire in the north. A lot of sort of technical information in this story, but if you're interested in history, in travel, it's a great read.
Oh, great. All right, well, thanks for joining us once again, Simon Ostheimer, Managing Editor of the Phuket News.
Thanks for having me, Kirsty.
No worries. And make sure you pick up a copy of the Phuket News, 20 baht, at over 600 outlets across the island. And we'll see you next time.